Larry Chen. I've been shooting car culture all over the world for the past 18 years. From the best builds to the fastest races, I've seen it all. In this series, I'm highlighting the gearheads that inspire me in our generation. It's insane how YouTube as a platform has helped many hardworking individuals achieve their dreams. From tech reviewers to vloggers, the platform has been there for it all. Within the automotive space of YouTube, there is arguably one name that everyone knows, Cleetus McFarland, also known as Garret Mitchell. Today, I'd say he's quite literally in the exact middle of the space, as the central point that bridges the community as a whole. I would go as far as calling him one of the most important leaders of our generation in car culture. But how did this happen? Could I have been his polarizing YouTube character Cleetus? Was it from his record-setting, bodiless drag Corvette dubbed Leroy? Or maybe from his purchase of an old racetrack in Florida? It's something that has sincerely fascinated me, and in this episode, I find myself at the legendary Bristol Motor Speedway, where I've actually been invited out by Garret to compete in his Bristol 1000 race. Right here, so much power. Oh look, there it is, nitrous. So we just pulled up here and I'm checking out my Type S liveried Crown Victoria. You know, there's some wear and tear, no problem. It's one of the few that still has cornering lamps. I've never driven a Crown Victoria like this, so I don't really know what to expect, but I think it'll be a lot of fun just to figure it out during qualifying. They did invite me out to practice, but I was too busy. I definitely wish I did that, but it's also kind of cool to do it all at once, you know, learn while you're going.
Audio sync.
How excited are you right now?
I'm really excited, man. I've been talking about stadiums for so long and how I've wanted to rent one day. It's here. Today's the day.
There's so much going on.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't even know how I got here. And then on top of that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've never driven an oval at speed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, that'll be interesting. It'll be fun because I'm gonna learn on my qualifying lap.
Luckily, this is a forgiving track because it's got so much grip. You're not like really flat sliding the car like on a non-banked oval. You're gonna do great.
Well, it'll be fun. My goal is just to finish. I just want to be
That's
part
a
of the
great
experience.
goal. That's a great goal.
I just want to be a part of the experience and I just want to see what it's like. So this show is called Capturing Car Culture. You know, my job, as you know, is to travel the world, capture car culture. I've photographed you quite a few times, you know, you doing your thing at LS Fest or whatever. You know, recently we were on a pretty big video shoot together. I feel like you single-handedly are saving car culture. I mean, like, you've like taken it upon yourself. The track, my God, Freedom Factory.
I'm trying to make racing fun again, you know. There was like a dip in fun for racing on my side of things, like for drag racing, you know, and we've just tried to make it as fun as it can be. And I go to drifting and I see how amazing that culture is dialed, and it's really good. And I just trying to take a little bit of that, a little bit of drag racing, a little bit of burnouts, and just, I don't know, bring them all together.
A lot of people like to complain and say, hey, all the local tracks at our city or where we're located, they're closing down and we have nowhere to actually use our vehicles.
I think it's really tough now because you can get so much entertainment right at your fingertips that people won't pay $20 to keep their racetrack in business. And then they're like, oh no, my track's shutting down. I'm like, boo-hoo, it's because you didn't support your local track. And people do think that supporting your local track is just buying a ticket, and that's part of it. But there's so much more than that. It's helping them promote their events, bringing out your family and friends, bringing out new people. Like, if you really want to support your track, it's a huge undertaking. Like, to get people to pay for a $20 ticket is so hard. It's incredibly hard to get people to buy a $20 ticket. However, they won't even second guess a $180 hotel, you know? So it's like, making racetracks desirable again is kind of what we've set out to do, and make people want to spend some money with their local racetrack. Like, that's my whole thing, is getting people out to the racetrack. The pay-per-view is cool, but most of my promotion is that I want people here. In person, we got 50 cars here. The entertainment value is insane. I often wonder if we did this same event with this many cars and this many people back in 2005, how crazy it would be.
One of the themes that I've been talking about a lot recently, especially with this series, is that thank goodness that there's so many car nerds out there that can relate to what you're doing. And I mean, you get so deep into it. Like, yeah, you have the silly stuff like driving underwater with the Hummer. There's the gag portion of what you do, but you get so deep into this racecraft when it comes to drag racing.
Because I gotta help my boy get good pictures. I gotta do something cool.
Right? But does that make sense? Like, it is so nerdy and it's so in-depth and it's so technical. It's hard for a lot of people to understand it if they're not into the culture. But thankfully, now car culture as a whole is just so big because of the internet, because of YouTube. People like yourself.
I definitely think there's good sides to it too. I don't want to, like, I harped on the track thing. That's just one side that's tough, but what YouTube and everything, how much it's grown, so everyone can, like, if you have a lifter tick on an LS, you can watch a YouTube video on the full repair. And I think, our core audience comes from people wanting to watch that R&D, that trial and error, you know, of us technically getting into it, breaking it, figuring out what to do next.
This is a pretty big conquest for you, right? This is something that you've probably wanted to do for a while.
Anyone can enjoy a burnout, I think. I think whether you're in the cars or not in the cars, when they blow the tires, it's like, how do you not yell, hell yeah? Like, I don't know, there's something about it. And kids especially, you know. These cars are so goofy and fun, and they've got crazy stuff written on them, and they're making the loudest noises possible. I think it's the closest thing to, like, monster trucks.
It's almost like a motorsport festival that you've put together, right? You have short course stadium super trucks, you have the burnout competition, and of course you have the Crown Vic race, which each one, believe it or not, is a little more obtainable than something like a monster truck.
Yeah, because I mean, there's guys that'll be here in a bone stock Crown Vic doing the burnout contest with the diff welded. You know, they got $2,000 total investment, and some of these guys are really good. It's like, it's totally attainable to come out here and compete and do this.
It's just the style, I think, right? With burnouts, even if you have 1,000 horsepower and you don't actually know how to swing that thing around, it's a big style thing.
Sometimes too much power is hard to control. You know, I can do a better burnout in Neighbor than I can in Toast, which is double the horsepower, just because the car, I don't know, it's different, so.
Last thing I wanted to touch on before I let you go, I know you're super busy this weekend, and we'll be following you the whole weekend.
I'm gonna be following you. I'm gonna be drafting you.
So we'll do like a shake and bake, right?
Yeah, shake and bake, bro.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Bristol, 1, 2, 3. All right, cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
That was such a surreal moment. So Robbie Gordon just came up to us and he's just, he's just saying it's an honor to be able to share the track with Cleetus and I. And wow. See, I've been photographing Robbie since the first day I started shooting off-road racing. And the fact that we're driving the same race, like my heart can't take it. It's just too much. It's incredible.
Providing a live dash cam. If you don't know about that, they make.
Do I wear the race ear thing right now?
I met him yesterday for the first time. You know who he was? I didn't know, and he came in here and I was like, hey man, I wasn't
2 laps on
then.
it.
They're gonna send it green, 4 laps.
Okay.
And then they'll go back to yellow, and then we come in on the back straight, or the right up there.
Okay.
We park up here.
Okay. I'll try to remember. I'll try to remember.
Did you know?
You all right?
That was insane. I'm good. I'm good. I had nowhere to go. Well, by now you can probably tell that did not go as I expected. On lap 14, somebody in third place thought it would be a good idea to go for first place, like it was the final lap. He ended up pushing second place into Hailie Deegan, which, poor girl, she said it was probably one of the hardest hits she's ever had. She hit the safer barrier so hard that her seat even broke. All said and done, I'm so glad I had the experience to drive the Bristol 1000. I was just so bummed at the end because as a content creator, I don't really get a chance to race as often as a lot of other people in the industry. With that said, I want to cherish every single time I get a chance to get behind the wheel. And unfortunately, this time ended way too early. The wreck ended up taking out 10 cars, including poor Cleetus, who ended up getting back on the track, but the damage was just too much, and eventually he had to retire his car. A couple other people that I knew, including Mike Finnegan, told me that it was such a hard hit for them. But for whatever reason, for me, I think I used a lot of the other cars in front of me as a crumple zone, and I didn't feel anything at all afterwards. After the fact, I kept replaying it in my head over and over, and I was thinking maybe there was something I could have done, but you could see the traffic in front of me was just at a dead stop, and there was just nothing I could do, nowhere I could go. In the end of the day, I did what I promised. I said, if I got wrecked out early, I would pick up my cameras and I would shoot the rest of the race, which is exactly what I did. I definitely wanted to thank Cleetus and my friends at Type S for having me at the Bristol 1000. Hopefully, I get to do it again one year. Thank you guys for watching my new Hagerty show. I really wanted to feature automotive trendsetters in our generation. Without Pennzoil, this series wouldn't be possible. They are enthusiasts like us, they believe in car culture, and they want to keep it alive. Pennzoil supports a lot of racing, drifting, and hill climb, and everything in between. They also support a lot of our friends. On top of that, we run Pennzoil in all of our project cars. I hope you like this content because we have a lot coming your way.